Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2. We are here back for round 3 of 20. We're at Saudi Arabia at Jeddah. We've got 18 drivers at the moment, still waiting on 2 more to join during qualifying. Yeah, just trying to sort that out. Waiting on Charlie to get in his Ferrari and Louis to make his or Lewis, I don't actually know, to make his debut in the Williams as a reserve. Yeah, Charlie's just on F1 now, so that's good. Right then, 14 minutes left of qualifying as the first lap times get set on the board. We have Matt with a 28.7 and Adam with a 1.9 second gap behind, and Dello goes a tenth ahead of Matt, and then Finn goes 8 tenths clear of Dello. Finn, championship leader, last week's race winner. Fantastic victory around Bahrain. Ahead of Ridian, who's unfortunately I think he got that glitch where he left the session and it retired him, and I don't know if he's realised yet, because I know he's been practicing quite a lot for this one. I think literally as soon as last week's race ended, he hopped straight on Saudi time trial. But his best races come from outside the top 10, so I guess we'll see. I think EA has been a bit iffy. But anyway, the rest of the drivers are setting their lap times. Apologies for missing them. Obviously still trying to get these two in. But yeah, Grush has gone 3.5 tenths behind Finn, as Eggy is only 6 thousandths off. Then Yannick up to P4, so RB looking very strong. Then Dello, then Matt. Toby, second race in EXFL Tier 2. A brilliant debut last week. P13 to P4. Then we have Cal reserving, back in the McLaren, which is always nice to see. Reserving for the second time this season. He got P7 after being last at one point in Australia, so that was a great drive. We've got Samurai down in 10th, but obviously he'll be going again for a quicker lap. Nathan just outside the top 10, which is nice to see. Adam still P12. This is his 15th race. Obviously holds the record most races without a point. It's Saudi. You never know how crazy it could be. But however, we have not had a single VSC or safety car so far this season, as Samurai goes up to P4. And Oren goes up to the front row. Oren, who I think got his first pole here at Saudi in season 9, I think, or 8. One of the it might have been 8 actually. So yeah, good to see him up there. But obviously Finn has got a quarter of a second advantage. Charlie's joined now. That's good to see. And if Lewis can't get in, I might have to ask Chaz if he wants to join. There we go, Charlie's in this car. No longer EXFL Senna for the first time in, 5 odd years now. He's changed his game attack to his actual name known. Well, Bernard, that's going to take some getting used to. Right, well, unfortunately, EA is not allowing Louis to join, so I'm getting Chaz in. I don't think I have him added, so he'll have to join off if he replies to his messages. But we're about halfway done. We're still waiting for Josh Hewitt to cross the line. We'll see what he can do. Hasn't been the start he wanted so far to this season. 2 DNF so far, and he goes P10 at the moment. So just the Ferraris left. Charlie straight out there. Got in the corners, and Seb about to begin his lap as well. Has reserved for 3 different teams so far this season and raced in all of them. Round 1 was Alpine, last week was Mercedes, this week's Ferrari. And the Tier 2 Season 9 champion will hopefully want to have a better opening lap than last week. Turn 4, as he's just going by it now, at Bahrain, wasn't exactly his greatest moment, where he caused quite a big incident with the other 2 world champions on the grid, and all 3 went off into the gravel. But he and EXFL Senna managed to have a great comeback through into the points, finishing 7th and 8th. However, Seb did get a post-race penalty that dropped him out of the points. Pretty deserving, I guess. Right, Finn is going again then. Into turn 1 then, goes the championship leader. And that is invalidated. That was way too much curb on the inside, so he will have to go again. Finn, who said, I'm not good at Saudi and whatnot. It's not going to be that great, but he's still up there. We discussed in the last week if we had to make any changes to the grid. We don't like doing that, and we haven't really done that for quite a few seasons or couple of years. But we feel this grid might not be the same come next week. And there might have to be some changes. As Dello, wow, out of nowhere, Dello, 4/10 ahead of Finn. Maybe we have to avert our attention to Dello now, because he's really taking the step up. As across the line, the Ferrari of Seb goes 7th. That came out of nowhere. That is a lap and a bit from Dello. Alright, so Dello, 27.4. I see. That is going to be a time to beat Dello, who's never been on pole position before. Like I said, last week he briefly had it. And last week there was a fantastic end to qualifying with the top 4 within a 10th of one another, each taking pole like one after the other. First it was Dello, then it was Senna, then Grush got his first ever pole. At the moment he's 5th. But yeah, Dello, that's going to take some beating. I'm sure Finn can challenge that, but yeah, Dello versus Finn, that was cooking up last week. Samurai goes P4 to knock Grush down to 6. Cooks does 5th at the moment. So both Red Bulls and RBs in the top 10. That's nice. As Dello heads into the pit lane, just under 6 minutes to go then. Yeah, Iridian will start this race from the back. Well, Yonder started the race last week, and he finished 6th. It was a brilliant drive, so we'll see what Iridian can do around here. So yeah, Dello, who's never even qualified on the front row. There's Chaz F1. Finally, he's joined. It's good to see him. The 10th reserve we have, actually. And he gets to race. There were quite a few who couldn't. Still, 3 full grids in a row. Full grid every race so far this season. That's great to see. 5 minutes left. He said he put his wheel away. Yeah, apologies. We were a bit late this one. Probably the messiest one we've had in a while yet. Still, it turned out alright. So yeah, Dello, who's qualified 3rd a few times, never been on the front row. let alone pole position. So we'll see what Finn can do then. He's out there already with just under 5 minutes to go then. Right. Let the final countdowns begin. Samurai, who's I think maybe heading into the pit lane. Eggy, who went up to 5th while all that was happening. It's good to see him still kicking about, considering all the Wi-Fi issues he's had. It's a disappointing first race, P11, I believe. Didn't even race last week, so still hasn't scored a point. What about Matt? He's running in the top 10 as well. Both Mercedes, going strong. Considering Matt, also hasn't scored a point this season either. It's good to see them both up there. Cal just on the outskirts of the top 10. Both Hassers down in 12th and 14th. Senna Bernard did say Bahrain was probably his best track, so he was fighting for pole. As we have both Salbers and Adam at the back still. Charleston in the pit lane. And Finn, whoa, that's off and invalidated as well. So he's really not liking the first sector at the moment. If he's fueled to go again, then he can, but he's really pushing some life out of those tyres. Yeah. I feel for Louis or Lewis or whatever his name is, not making his debut today because the EA servers or him just not being able to join at the moment. But yeah, Chaz F1 we haven't seen since Tier 2 Season 9 or 10. Tried to get that podium, I think it was Season 9. So it's been a while since he's been up into the points, but we'll see what he can do. One of the most experienced drivers we've ever had. Obviously, Seb being... Well, he's actually number 2 at the moment because Frosty overtook him last season before he left and retired from the league. We miss you, Frosty. As I'm sure Seb, by the end of this season, will reclaim that first spot. Josh is 3rd, I think, in that list. And then Chaz is 4th, and then Nathan is 5th. All those names I just mentioned are the only ones to reach over 100 races in the tier. The next one, I believe, will be Warren, who's on 81. We had Callum H, who did 90, I think. But yeah, Finn's back in the pit lane then. 2 minutes 20 to go. So he's got to get a move on. At the moment, Dello is the one to beat with a brilliant lap time as he's heading out for one final time to see if he can beat that. Samurai's out there on his out lap. A lot of traffic in that part of the lap. Cookster, I think, is on a lap, so he's got to navigate his way through. Finishes the first set to split then, as 2 and a bit tenths up as Grush puts his car on the front row. That's what we're seeing more and more. Grush sets the lap time with a couple minutes to go, and then right at the end sets another one, even on used tyres by then. So you never know. The back to Cookster then, like I said, 2 and a bit tenths up. That would actually get him up to 4th. So he's cooking up a good lap in that Red Bull around the night sky. He's got Ferrari in front of him, who's not getting out of the way, and that's impeded and invalidated him. Seb should know better, and that has completely ruined Cookster's lap, unfortunately. So, yeah, that could have really been a good lap for him, as everyone else will be starting their out lap. Does he have enough to go again? Not really. So that has kind of ruined his qualifying there. Slightly. Yannick is behind him on a lap. So is Bluey and Chaz, I think, to cross the line soon. So Yannick currently sitting P9. Where can he place his car? 27.4, time to beat. It's a 28.0 to go. P4, an RB second row lockout at the moment. Nathan's done in P16. Chaz has got one corner left. He's invalidated. I think there's enough time in the session left to go for one more run. Bluey's in the first sector, so this will be his last chance. And, well, Yellow's in sector 1 are covering it. But look at that final corner of how many cars there are about to set their final run. Grush is about to go again. Dello has invalidated, so that's the time to beat then. Who can challenge? Finn crosses the line to begin his lap. Oren slightly behind. Then, what is it? Charlie who crosses the line. And then the Mercedes of Eggy. And then the McLaren of Cal. And then finally the 2 Haas cars of Toby and Will. I think Will will be the last to cross the line, who's done a lap. He's P10. So it looks like Toby will be the last one to cross the line. Look at that entire grid. Yeah, that's it, Will's out. As the first one will be the Sauber of Bluey. That's the Williams of... Is that Samurai getting out of the way? Who's in P6, 4,000ths off Oren. Yes, it is. He was a 10th up, actually. So Samurai failed his lap. Now we're about to see so many laps. Look at that. There's 3 cars heading into the final corner, nose to tail. Bluey crosses the line. Does he stay slowest of the times? Yes, he does. As we see Samurai cross the line then. And then a few behind him, including the Ferrari and Dello. No, it's Cookster, sorry. So yeah, Seb and Cookster stay where they are. Then we've got a bit to wait of Chaz F1, who's trying to get a lap time on the board, but he's invalidated, so he will start last for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And then we have a big load of cars heading through the final couple corners, including the Alpine of Josh Hewitt. And then the Red Bull. Who can challenge? Will Finn take pole away from Dello right at the end? Josh goes to 8th. What about Finn? He's down. Finn will not be on pole. Grush crosses the line. He can't improve. Dello at the moment, unless Oren can challenge. Oh, 4,000! It's so close. But Dello, for the first time ever, is on pole position in Tier 2. Only just ahead of Oren. Toby goes 3rd right at the end to be 3,000ths ahead of Grush. What a close qualifying right at the end. Oren's no stranger to thousandths being decided for pole and 2nd. And Dello's done it. He's finally got that pole. I think we're just waiting on Cal then. So yeah, that is the grid. Dello did it. The lap was enough. And Finn, P5. He will have to make do with that. Wow. Fair enough. Oh, it was 5,000ths. I hate when the game does that. Ah, Toby 3rd. That is that's very impressive. Alrighty then, here we go then. So Cookster P10, his teammates on pole. We have 2 Red Bulls, 2 RBs, and I think those are the only teams to have both cars in the top 10. Yeah, well done to Dello. Dry race. That was probably obvious. As probably halfway through this triple night race in the desert header. Obviously, what was it? Bahrain, Saudi and Qatar. So you would expect these 3 to be dry for all 6 sessions hosted. But yeah, looks like starting everyone on the mediums. We'll see if anyone diverts from that. Should be just a one-stop, medium, hard, hard, medium. I wouldn't advise starting on softs, but, you know, I guess Tier 2 drivers can make it work sometimes. Oren switching to the hards already. So yeah, Oren, who qualified on pole in the opening round in Australia. He qualified pretty poorly last week in Bahrain. It was a race to forget for him. But now, he sees no one really in front of him. He's got the inside line as the formation lap begins then. And he has a chance. But now he knows it's all in his hands, really, to fight Dello and not spin himself. So let's have a look at tyres. Okay, so Dello also chose the hard compound tyres. Same with Oren and Finn and Yannick. So both RBs and the top 2. Everyone else on medium tyres. So everyone else will be fighting for position. So Dello, who was fighting for the win last week, with the likes of Finn and Samurai and whatnot, on level pace, just fell away after Ridian got ahead of him. And now he's back 1 week later on pole, while Ridian's down in 19th. He's got a lot of work to do. But, like I said, some of Ridian's best races come from outside the top 10. He is certainly an age behind, so we'll see what he can do. Delo's really not waiting around. He's getting on with it. In fact, the top, 7 have broke away from the rest. That's Samurai just backing them all up. So yeah, Toby in third. On the mediums, he's got 2 hard runners in front of him. He could be quite good at the start. And Grush. It was a great qualifying last week, but it was a race to forget, scoring only a few points. I think it was 8th in the end after penalties. So he does still sit second in the standings. Finn is on 43, so he's got a 14-point lead after the first 2 races already, down in 5th. So Grush will know he has to keep him behind at all costs. And Eggy will want to start his season off now after 2 races to just forget in 6th. Yannick's up there in 7th after 2 disappointing qualies so far to fight back to the points both times to actually start in the points. Could be a pretty good race for him and RB in general. Samurai, consistent as ever in the top 10. And Josh Hewitt, I think that's his best quali so far this season as well. Can he finish a race this time? Finn's messed up his parking and AP Cookster rounds out the top 10 with 2 world champions behind him in Tier 2. Then Matt, Cal, Charlie, the 2 Saubers on the left, Adam on the right, Ridian, and then finally Chaz F1 will slot into the 20th and last grid slot. Here we go then. We await the lights to signal the start of round 3. Here in Jeddah, it's the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in Tier 2, Season 12. It's lights out and away we go. Delo versus Oren. It looks like Toby's had a dreadful start, dropping down the order as Delo into turn 1 will lead into turn 1. Eggy versus Grush around the outside as Eggy on the mediums gets the traction. Slight contact between Toby, hooking onto the Williams. Josh Hewitt's up to 5th already, and Eggy's up to 3rd. Ahead of Grush, then Josh Hewitt, then Finn. Toby's down to 7th, goes wide, making contact with Samurai, rejoins into them, and there's a big crash behind with the Haas getting tumbled down the order to the back, along with Ridian in 20th, so it's not been the start he would have wanted. It's Delo from Oren, from Eggy, Grush, Josh, Finn and Yannick, Samurai, Seb and Charlie up to 10th already as well. Then Cookster losing a couple places, just behind Matt. Then Cal, Will, Adam up 2, Charlie up 4. The 2 Saubers staying where they are. Matt and Cookster swapping there. As dreadful start for Toby. He just didn't go anywhere off the line. As Will's fighting away with Cal, gets the move done. As the midfield moves, and that's Matt into the wall. Big crash from him. As he'll get back onto the track with the wing damage. And I don't know why I'm Iridian either, but yeah, it's been a dreadful opening lap for Toby. So Delo still leads as the 2 Ferraris swap at turn 22 and 23. Chaotic opening lap. Chaz F1's made 6 places now. It's a great start so far as he gets past Adam. Now he's watching Cal fight away with Will as the 2 Ferraris are fighting back with one another again. As they're really getting their elbows out as Cal's got back ahead of Will. So Seb, Charlie and Cookster fighting away. Delo leads the first lap then, 6/10 clear of Oren. The 2 hard runners. Then Eggy's up to 3rd then. As down the inside, Josh Hewitt versus Finn. And Finn is ahead, but Josh has got the medium traction to get on with it out of turn 2. Finn's still there though, but Josh is ahead heading into turn 4. Not really a corner. You want to go side by side through, and Josh Hewitt stays in front. Great car placement as Matt speeds into the pit lane. So Josh stays in front for now. Let's have a biggest gainer at the moment. Let's enable everything. Right, biggest gainer, of course, it's Chaz F1 from last up to P14. Getting it all wrong there, though, in Sector 1. And also Charlie, who's been having some really good starts recently. 15th to 10th. And Josh Hewitt, 9th to P5. And Eggy as well, 6th to 3rd. They all had to get out of the way of Toby. He's got it all to do now from P17. He just didn't go anywhere. Josh still sticking within a second of Grush, who's... I mean, they're pretty spaced out, actually, at the front. Chaz F1 with the first, 3-second time penalty. And Oren's really closing on Delo, putting him under pressure. Oren knows he just has to watch how much he pushes. Because then he's prone to making mistakes with spins and whatnot. But it is Saudi. He is great around here. He's had a podium in Tier 1, for Christ's sake, around here as he heads through the final corner, still behind Delo. 70% to Delo's 50%. As there are swaps being made throughout the midfield, but there might be a swap for the lead as we head on to lap 3, and it looks like Delo's powerless to defend. Oren to the inside then will become the new leader of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix until Delo dives it down the inside, and the top 2 make contact. Oren goes off the track, and Oren stays in the lead for now. That brings Eggy closer to the top 2, and Oren has to give the place up to Delo. So, already on lap 3, drama at the front. Dello could have just waited one lap to get back in front. He decided to send it to the inside. And, well, I guess he was ahead. And then Oren went round the outside. Was he forced off? Either way, we have yellows. That's the Ferrari of Charlie spinning around, I think. Going off, dropping down the order. Oh, and there's more. There's another car spun as well, I believe. That's Will, who's spun around in the other Haas. So he's also had an incident. So Charlie and Will dropping right down the order, allowing Chaz F1 up to 11th now. Something about a reserve in that Williams really makes them cook. Last week it was Yonder from last to 6th. This week it's Chaz F1 from last to 11th. I thought he lost the car then from that angle. His teammates still in 8th. The top 8 all within a DRS train in one another after that battle between Dello and Oren. Dramatic stuff on the opening laps, and it's still not over as the Ferrari. I think that was Charlie slowing down a bit more. There's a three-way scrap here between Toby, Callum and Chaz. As Toby's blasting his battery as the top 2 are nose to tail. Everything going on. They're wheel to wheel, in fact, as they start lap 4. And Oren now in the lead ahead of Dello. And this time round, it looks like he'll keep it. Into turn 1 then. Eggy can't do anything. So Oren becomes the new leader. Looking further back. Threading the needle. There goes Toby past one car. But at the moment, he can't quite get past Chaz. So Toby was down in, what, 17th, 18th? Has made his way back up into 12th. As Ridian, I don't know if he has any. He does have damage. I actually feel so bad for his race because of that thing at the start. Will decides to change his tyres. Bluey's fighting away with Matt. And Chaz F1 now loses a couple places because he's had a spin. Whether he got tagged or not, that's a lot of his hard work come undone. Cow now with the 3-second time penalty. Penalties are going to be very crucial around here. But Oren now becomes the new leader of the race. Obviously, there's going to be that lap 3 incident to look at. I don't think Oren did anything wrong per se. He took the lead, and then it was Dello who decided to have a bit of fun, send it to the inside. Oren either left the track on his own and gave up the place anyway to Dello, or he got forced off. So I'm pretty sure he did nothing wrong. And here we see the top 2 in the World Championship at the moment, fighting away. Grush versus Finn. Finn momentarily was ahead, but Grush, blasting whatever battery he has left, same with Finn to be fair, is back in front. So we start lap 5 then, and it looks like this is going to be a race where the top 2 keep swapping most laps. But Dello is deciding not to blast his battery because he's got less than Oren, so he'll sit behind and save for now. Cookster fighting away with Seb and Josh. As Toby's ahead of Cal, and Nathan's leading Adam and Charlie, and Chaz has just joined the back of these guys now. As Ridian gets close to track limits there. And Eggy will want to be getting a move on with these mediums because he knows the top 2, the hard compound tyres, will start to fire up more in the next coming laps. So he could be seeing the top 2 break away. Let's have another look at the tyres. So Finn and Yannick right behind one another. Finn obviously ahead, so he will have priority of pit stops. So Yannick's just going to have to play his cards right. A lap early, a lap later. As we see Charlie on Charlie action here. Chaz to the inside of the Ferrari. Gets the move done. Will making another pit stop onto the softs now. The race has all gone wrong, unfortunately. 50%. Pretty level battery between the top 2. And look at that. Like I said, they have left Eggy. And Eggy's over a second behind now. That's going to allow Grush to close up. Finn and Grush still with barely any battery. Dello closes up to Oren. Is this his chance now to retake the lead? Because he looks close enough. He's blasting his battery. He'll get the DRS. And Oren too. Cookster fighting away with Josh as well. And Dello stops blasting his battery, knowing he's too far away. Here comes Grush then. But not close enough for an overtake on Eggy. Josh fighting back away with Cookster. Seb dropping off from these guys, actually. So Josh still holding his own in P8 ahead of the Red Bull, who would have probably been in this fight if he managed to get his lap done and not get impeded by Seb, who are right next to one another. I will mention this turn 4 corner has caught quite a few out in the past. Has not caught anyone out just yet. Well, the opening lap was interesting, but we see the Aston and the Ferrari fighting away here. We got yellows. And is that Cow? who's just had a moment. Oh no, it's Cookster who's gone off. Unfortunately, his race goes from bad to worse. Unfortunately, was P9, now will drop down to P14 as Charlie gets a 3-second time penalty. And yeah, Eggy still trying to get back within a second. There's the detection point, and it's just over. But at the moment, he's holding his own against Grush, who's under pressure again from Finn and Yannick and Samurai doing the Ridian strat, just staying at the back, looking after his tyres, see how long he can go. Obviously, that's another penalty. As the top two swap then, Dello has got in front of Oren. As we head to the detection point, that'll allow Oren to try and fight back at him, as Toby's fighting away with Seb. Action everywhere you look so far, and this should be a good overtake for Oren to the inside to get back in front of Dello, as Grush has overtaken Eggy. That's a crucial move. What about Finn? He stays behind, so Grush up into third now, as the top two still are not done fighting, but Oren now is in front. Josh Hewitt into the pit lane. I wondered why he dropped a few places. So yeah, I'll just mention that. Toby was, like I said, 17th, 18th. He's now in 8th. Yes, he's like 7 seconds off the front, but still, he's really getting his elbows out, fighting through the field as Charlie gets even more penalties, speeding into the pit lane. As I think that's what Matt did a few laps ago. Charlie does decide to retire, which is fair. All right, let's look back to the front. As Seb now gets a penalty, and whenever the leaders start to get pens, that's when you know we can take some people out of the equation and whatnot. But at the moment, we still got 7 people fighting for the win, and one of them is Dello, no longer, because he's lost his wing after sliding on exit, and all eyes were on Oren to make a mistake, but it's turned out to be Dello, as side by side, the two RBs, not the RBs, Finn and Eggy to the inside, the other RB watching cinema in front of him as the sister Red Bull spins and his teammate gets past Eggy, and now he's trying to do the same. So RB marching up the order. Finn's up to third, Yannick's fourth, Eggy drops down to fifth with his dying mediums as the two hard runners in front of him overtake him. That's freed up Oren. Despair for Dello, who lost on exit, and that pole position has been the highlight of his evening because the race has not turned out how he wanted. He'll pit 8 laps after a hard compound stint, so his race is definitely going to take a turn, as he'll have to change his wing, put another set of hard compound tyres on, and commit to the 2-stop. Going off there is Finn, so looks like he's struggling slightly. Allows Chaz back up into the top 10. That's good to see. As yeah, Eggy on those mediums, dropping ever further down. I was about to say, the medium runners, they're going to pit first. They might get track position, and then it's down to those on the hards to chase them down. So yeah, if you look at the top 6, 3 are on mediums, 3 are on hards. So at the moment, Grush will look to pit first, maybe undercut Oren if he's quick enough, and fight for the lead. As for the 2 RBs, we'll see. But yeah, this is not over by a long shot. This is the top 3 that we had in Australia. Oren, Grush and Finn. And then Oren made his mistake, which let Grush and Finn fight it out. As Josh Hewitt, after already making a pit stop, is P11 right now. And he's stuck behind Chaz F1. And looks like he'll get him here with better tyres, better traction. Flies past into P10. So now Grush leading quite a train behind, allowing Oren to run away slightly. That's so unfortunate for Dello. But at least he knows the pace was there. So, is Finn close enough? Probably not. Top six still stay out. Toby, who was 7 seconds behind, is now 6 seconds behind as all in front squabble. Even though they have the DRS, they are led by Grush, who's not got maximum pace on those 9-lap-old mediums. So that's allowing Toby to close in slightly. He would have been right with these guys if not for his start. But at the moment, it's all controlled out of the front for Oren. And it'll be nice to have 3 different winners in the first 3 races. Grush won the opening one, Finn won the second one. Oren at the moment looks in good control. But like I said, it's all down to him. And RB, they're really looking strong as a team. Yannick, it's taken him a couple of races. But as soon as he has a good quali, he's right there. Who got on the podium last season in Baku. He was one to watch after joining the league at Spain round 8 last season. So Della makes his way through as Adam has had a moment, losing a bit of wing. Had a lot of cars go off there at the end of sector 1. So here we go then. The top 2 in the World Championship. Grush versus Finn. Finn goes round the outside then. And are they playing a bit of DRS chicken because they're wheel to wheel still? And Grush is on the inside. Finn will go wide, get the DRS, and this should surely be the move. But will Grush decide to pit after only 9 laps? No, he stays out. So he's going to fall under pressure from Finn. Grush blasting what battery he has left to try and keep Finn behind. Yannick's watching this unfold. Finn will go around the outside of Grush. Will Yannick try the same as well? RB working as a team, but at the moment Grush has managed to hold off at least one of them. So Finn is freed now into P2. As Seb has gone into the pit lane to retire. I thought someone clipped the turn 4 wall. So we've lost both Ferraris so far in this race. So Seb has decided to retire, unfortunately. Dello's up to P11 then. Deep into turn 1 though. Toby gaining a couple tenths on these guys. As that is just showing how different the tyre levels are from 10-lap-old hards to mediums. As Finn's already got Grush out of a second, and now Yannick is going to try and overtake the McLaren. Chaz gets his second penalty, and Grush will be wanting his pit stop to come as soon as possible. And now we see what the pace is like between Finn and Oren. Remember, 3-second time penalties here or there. If Grush got one, he could drop all the way behind Samurai. It's nice to see Samurai and Eggy fighting, though. They've been like the front 2 spokesmen of the tier for quite a while now. Ever since last season, I guess. Mainly Eggy. Yeah, it's proving difficult to save battery in Grush's position as Josh Hewitt. So it looks like he's doing a 2-stop, right? Yeah, he's 100% doing a 2-stop, and it's actually not working out too badly for him. He's pretty much where he was. So, lap 11. This is surely the lap where we start to see some pit stops from the medium runners. Yannick has overtaken Grush then. Both RBs on the podium now, which is great to see. So, 3 hard runners, 3 medium runners. The medium runners will pit first, potentially undercut, and then it will be up to the hard runners to put the mediums on and chase them down. No VSC or safety cars still yet. As Cal's into the pit lane, looking like he's making his 1 pit stop. So is Chaz, so is Nathan, so is Ridian. And Cookster will overtake them all. Matt's right there as well, he pitted quite early. I think Will's been lapped. Josh Hewitt now with a 3-second time penalty. Looks like Finn's got some decent pace on Oren to gain a couple tenths, but they're pretty matched. However, he's going to lose some time there. That was a dreadful exit. And Yannick 1.3 behind. Now he knows what his race is. He either pits a lap before Finn or a lap after. I don't know if they're probably not communicating, but still. Grush just sticking with a second of Yannick to get DRS ahead of Eggy. What's happened to Samurai? He's lost DRS to these guys. And I wouldn't be so surprised if all 3 of Grush, Eggy and Samurai pit on the same lap. Whether it be this lap, we're about to find out. So Oren will start lap 12 then, and these are the crucial laps then. Looks like Grush is diving off into the pit lane. Eggy follows him, and so does Samurai. Whoa, that was a bit of a hit from Eggy. I think he got away with that. I was just about to say, hopefully none of them speed. Toby's up there. Looks like he's getting a bit of helping hand from his teammate there with DRS, so that's nice to see. Samurai puts the hard compound tyres on. Eggy and Grush just in front of him. There's Josh Hewitt then, who's managed to undercut them all, as it would seem. Yes, it does. So, Josh is ahead of Grush, Eggy and Samurai. So, depending where they catch him, this could either be a hindrance or a help for Grush. He's now just got to get that tyre life up to temp and then catch Josh Hewitt at a DRS zone and overtake him. Josh will obviously be in the pit lane one more time after going medium. This will probably allow Samurai to get back within a second of these guys if they get held up from the Alpine. So the top 3 will now extend a few more laps to their designated pit stop window. Same with Toby, who's kept the gap kind of constant now to the top guys. Even though, considering he's on really old mediums, that's still a decent achievement. 70% for Josh, 50 for Grush. He's just got to pick his moment. Not rush too hard. He's got a lot of DRS zones coming up. Josh looks like he's struggling, obviously. 5 laps on those mediums, and they already are starting to fall off, it seems. Josh will probably not put up a fight here, as he'll probably want to get Grush back on the main straight. So Grush overtakes him. Eggy watching this unfold. And, yeah, Grush is ahead, but will Josh be able to fight him back on the exit? Grush has a decent amount of battery. Josh has the battery and DRS, though, to close in on the McLaren. And it looks like Josh might be able to get him. Grush goes defensive to the inside. He'll have the better tyres. Josh will try around the outside. And they make slight contact, but Grush is ahead. Yeah, Josh tried, but that was a crucial move for Josh. Now it's Eggy's turn to try and get past the Alpine. That's going to be brave to the inside, and he decides to back out of it, putting Josh under pressure there. The lag there, as Samurai is watching this unfold as well. And this could be crucial between Eggy and Grush's race. With the Alpine in between. Tier 2 Season X champion. Under pressure though. And you can just see how much later Eggy can be on the brakes on his newer tyres. And now he gets on the traction, but it's not really a part of the track you overtake cars at. And this is really frustrating Eggy as Grush is getting further away. Josh hits the wall. That'll allow Eggy to switch back, but it's not quite enough. And that allows Samurai past the pair of them. Through goes the Williams as Josh slots back in between. This is going to be really frustrating for Eggy, who knew he couldn't overtake off the track, so he had to back out, and that was perfect for Samurai. They've already lost 1.5 seconds to Grush. And now Josh will have DRS to stay in front of Eggy. Eggy's blasting his battery to try and overtake the Alpine around the outside. And then wheel to wheel, Josh giving just enough space to the Mercedes, to the inside. Eggy ghosting slightly, but Eggy gets the move done. Will Josh decide to pit now? Yeah, that is the most frustrating thing Eggy could probably have, as into the pit lane is Toby. He's gone a very long way into the race. He's gone longer on the mediums than he will on the hards, actually. And he's still going to exit in P8. This has been a brilliant stint from Toby. Started 3rd, dropped down to 18th, and is P8 minimum. So that's great to see. Yannick comes out. There's Dello all of a sudden as well, just realised. But obviously he'll have to make another pit stop. There is Yannick, and he's only about a second and a bit off Eggy and Samurai and Grush. Yannick is in a brilliant position, and I've just realised he pitted before Finn. Could he undercut his teammate? Finn, who's, after all these laps, got the gap from 3.3 down to 2.5. So across, 5 or so laps, he's gained 8 tenths on Oren. So it's close stuff. And it's a good race pace between the two. But the pit stops will surely come soon. Maybe next lap. Grush has got to get on with it now. As he's got to hope Samurai and Eggy and Dello become roadblocks for Yannick. But with Dello not having DRS, Yannick should be able to get the Red Bull here. We have a yellow. And that is, I think, Adam. Yeah, it is. I saw an Aston go off and I held my breath for a moment. Oren's in then. And Finn is following him in 2. As Yannick has got past Dello. And he's already with Samurai and Eggy. So, Oren puts the mediums on. Finn will do the same. Grush will take the lead. And where will these two fall out in context to the others? So there's Oren exiting the pit lane. There's Grush. Oren's still in the lead. So Grush hasn't undercut him, and Oren has played his cards perfectly. He had a big enough gap. Finn is wheel to wheel with Eggy to the inside. He's not backing out. Neither is Eggy. Wheel to wheel stuff. Eggy goes slightly off the track. Finn goes round the outside and gets the place. I think that was okay because Finn held his breath, committed, and has got the place because of it. So that has not worked out for Yannick, actually, to see his teammate on 1 lap fresher tyres ahead of him and ahead of Eggy. Penalty for Will. So, it looks like smooth sailing for Oren now. He has not been undercut. He can go to the end, and now it's just in his hands as Josh gets a penalty. Grush and Samurai, no Finn's behind them, trying to chase them down. And Eggy's under pressure from Yannick now. Is he going to try and move into turn 22? Yes, he is. And he's got it done before we even get there. So Yannick makes it an RB top 5 finish minimum at the moment. And Eggy, unfortunately, in the dying stages of the race, his race pace just hasn't come to him at the moment. but it's still going to be P6 at the moment. Even if Dello gets ahead of him, he's still going to make a pit stop. So Samurai under big pressure from Finn. And this should be a decent move for the RB to put him back on the podium. But with very little battery and Samurai still looking good. He has the inside line, but Finn breaks later, goes around the outside, gets the move done. So Grush actually pushing quite a bit there to try and see if he can get within a second of Oren. As looks like Oren's tyres are going to be fired up soon. Finn about 2.6 seconds behind the Aston. Whoa, there's Josh and Callum fighting away. 4P9 in 10. Chaz in 11th, Ridian in 12th. Fighting away with Nathan there. It's been an unfortunate race for Cookster. Unfortunately for both Red Bulls, as we have a virtual safety. Nathan. Okay. Yeah, I think... I think he's given up. Yeah. Right? Yeah, he has. So I think Josh has become the first victim to clip that inside wall at turn 4. So that has retired him. And Nathan, after just going to the inside of, I think, Ridian, has decided to give up on track as well. That is a virtual safety car. I can't see a yellow dot. So yeah, that's only a virtual safety car. The first type of safety car we've had this season, however. This will help... Who will this help? Well, everyone, really, in terms of tyre life. Mainly the medium runners, I guess. And it helps everyone. Look at them, saving all their battery up to 100%. That's going to make things maybe a little more difficult for the likes of Yannick and Finn. And I was about to say, who's about to get a drive-through when the VSC ends? It's Adam. So Adam and Bluey will soon overtake Josh's car. There we go. Now as Toby gets past Dello, who's into the pit lane. So Toby's up to 7th now. Could he chase down Eggy? We'll find out. Grusha's lost quite a bit of time from that restart. 1.1 has now gone to 2.1, and Finn is now well within a second of the McLaren. So, top 8, still without any penalties. Cal's in 9th with 3. Chaz has got 6. Ridian with nothing. So, we'll see if he can at least scrap for a point. Cookster with 3, not too far behind. Then Matt with none. Adam's got a drive through. Bluey's got 3, and Will's got 6. Finn must have made a mistake there because he's lost quite a bit of time. That's allowing Samurai and Yannick to close back up. So, yeah. Oh, hit the wall there from someone. Yeah, Finn's wing is still fine. Grush knows these are crucial points for him against Finn. You know, 14 points behind. At the moment, it would go down to 11. But if Finn overtook him, it would go up to 17. Finn absolutely cooking through the middle sector, though. He wants to still win this race. He has the pace over Oren at the moment. But with that being a 2.5 second gap, I don't know if he'll close it. We'll see. 50% versus 20. I think Grush might just have Finn covered for this one. What about behind? Still evenly spaced out between Samurai, Yannick and Eggy. Yellow for Matt. And, well, it's also tactical for Grush's race as well. The more he holds Finn behind him, the less chance they have of getting to Oren. And I'm not going to lie, they're both gaining on Oren. Oren does not like these mediums as much as he liked the hards in the first stint, because he's not really setting the track alive on them. So, for Grush's interest, if he can't win the race, it's probably better to let Oren win than Finn, for his sake. And I'm sure Oren has the capabilities as soon as Finn overtakes Grush to realise, now I've got to push. As at the moment, I think he's realised that because he's getting on with it. Look at that, a 10th every few seconds now. So yeah, he's really pushing. We've got yellows. Chaz F1 has retired. Has he also clipped the turn 4? I think he has. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Wait, has he? I swear his front wheels still looked on, but either way, he's out of the race, unfortunately. Last to P11. It was a decent race. I mean, he made that mistake through here, but still, it was good to see him on return. But we have lost a quarter of the grid from this race now. Both Ferraris, Nathan, Josh, and now Chaz. So, Oren, I think, gets a bit of helpful DRS there. Grush has done all he can, but Finn has now overtaken him up into P2, and now Samurai's under pressure from the other RB who's making a move, and Yannick is up ahead of the Williams, so both RBs making a place. And exiting the pit lane is the Aston of Adam. He will get lapped probably. He's in Grusha's way, however, and that's something you never want through turn 4, a lapped car right in front of you. Dello, fastest lap of the Grand Prix then, in P8. Look at that, Toby's really closed up to these guys. It's been, once again, a solid race for him. Even if his qualifying, compared to where he finishes, doesn't look great on paper. So, 6 laps to go then. 2-second gap between Oren and Finn. Can Finn close that down? I'm not going to look at penalties. If any come up, it'll be a surprise for us all. So now Grush is going to be under pressure from Yannick, who wants to make this a double RB podium. That would be brilliant, if so. And yeah, Samurai and Eggy have just been kind of trailing one another and the whole pack at this rate. Yeah, Cal's still going to hang on for P9 at the moment. Let's see places gained. So, Will's obviously lost a few. Hasn't been the race he wanted. Bluey fighting away with Adam. They've both gained 4 places, to be fair. As they're getting lapped by the leaders. Looks like Grush will have a bit of helping hand. Matt's only made up 1. Ridian's made up 8, to be fair, starting at the back as well. And he might still salvage a point with Cookster, who's stayed exactly where he is. Same with Eggy. Cal's up 5 places into the points, like I said. And yeah, Dello and Toby, they've still managed to fight their way through to get some points. And the top 5 have all gained places, whether it be 3 or 1. So Grush still ahead of Yannick, still ahead of Samurai, still ahead of Eggy. These lapped cars are certainly getting in some of their way. Dello, 30.6, now 30.4. So Adam gets lapped by Yannick, now Samurai, and soon to be Eggy. Gap staying kind of constant between the top 2. Maybe going down a little as Finn blasts his battery. Dello with a 3-second now. And full props to this top 7 as Toby has now joined the party. Full praise that none of them have got any penalties and they've been fully on it the entire time. As that's Samurai closing up to Yannick pretty quickly. Yeah, these lapped cars have been a bit of a nuisance, but I think they've got past most of them now. As soon as Eggy clears Adam. There we go. Well, and obviously Toby will have to do the same. So, Grush trying to hang on for this podium. He's got 4 cars behind him who want it. 5-car fight for the last spot on the podium as the top 2 are equidistant from one another still. Finn sliding out the last corner. So it looks like Oren's got this under control. 5 laps to go. So what can Grush do against Yannick, against Samurai, against Eggy and Toby, who's joined the party? He can hold him off for now into turn 1. They're getting ever closer, nose to tail. Eggy actually goes a bit deep, but that's lag. Let's have a quick look at tyre life. Yeah, so Toby's on the freshest tyres of the hard runners. As Finn's either made a mistake or Oren's got on with it because he's lost 7 tenths now to the Aston Martin. And yeah, Grush knows he needs to hang on here. Look at this. 5 cars fighting for P3. All led by Grush. And it's not like, you know, some of them are going to run out of tyre life. Of the 5... 1, 2, 3... Yeah, only Yannick's the only one on mediums. So that might be the thing that helps Grush the most. Keep Yannick behind as much as possible. Let the mediums fall off until his tyres are better. And then he's good. And at the moment, it looks like that might be the case. Because Samurai's coming back at Yannick. And Grush, if they fight, will flee from them once again, like it was with the pit stops. So I think it's in Grush's interest to keep Yannick close, but not too close. 3.4 now. It looks like Oren's got this good. As there's Toby making a move on Eggy. So he's got 1 done, and he's really dicing his way through the field. Remember, he was 7 seconds behind these lot, but through sheer consistency and pace, while the others didn't capitalise, he is up to P6 now. Remember, he started 3rd. He was practically last at one point. I mean, that rejoin at turn 4 might be looked at, I don't know. But he's driven a fantastic race so far. Yannick getting ever closer to the back of Grush. And I do wonder if those mediums have fallen off for Finn, because Oren's just... Well, no, Oren's on the mediums. Okay, never mind, that's a stupid theory. I don't know. Finn's just maybe saving his tyres then, or Oren's finally got his hooked up now. Either way, even if Oren gets a penalty, he's looking good. Ever since the start, really. Since he fought with Dello. Oh, that's Adam, isn't it? Yeah, spin. Ever since he fought with Dello, that was really his only competition the whole race, and then Dello spun. Since then, he has never looked back. And, well, Yannick's about to drop out a DRS from Grush. This will be very helpful for the McLaren. Obviously, that gap at the top will go to 17 from 14 for Finn. So it's still overall a great race from Finn. You know, second, first, second so far this season. It's been a brilliant start for the RB. And I don't know what changes will happen over the course of the next week. But we'll see. It's nice to see that at the moment we're going to have 3 different winners in the first 3 races. But the fight is not over. Yannick to the inside then. This is his best opportunity he's had. But Grush will get the exit as Yannick hasn't had the best of exits. As Toby's also trying to get past Samurai. They're all giving it everything now. Barely any battery between the lot. And will Toby try and overtake to the inside of the Williams? No, he'll have to go around the outside. But Samurai parks his car where he needs to be. So for now, they stay how they are. This is getting serious now. No more laps for a safety car. 3 to go, including this one. They are all practically nose to tail of one another. And this is a very good defence from the McLaren of Grush so far. As they're going off there is Toby, actually, making a mistake. Shouldn't lose him too much. I want a quick look at tyre life. Yeah, I thought Ridian's tyres were quite old. Maybe he'll be able to get a point. I don't know. Of those left, ignoring maybe the last 2, the field has actually done pretty well in terms of penalties. Right, Grush once again getting an 8th, 10th gap at this stage of the track. Because now Yannick will be able to close up to him. But he's under pressure from Samurai. And Toby's taking a lot of life out of those tyres. But he's still trying to push on. And he's gaining on Samurai. And he realises he can put the battery back on. He goes around the outside of the Williams. And can he get up into P5? Samurai versus Toby. Toby round the outside. Brilliant move from the Haas. A top 5 finish would be brilliant. But Samurai's coming back at him now. As Toby barely has any battery. But Samurai doesn't either. So it looks like Toby has got this covered. And that is P5 for the Haas. Fantastic stuff from Toby. Yannick still behind him. And can Toby try and get up to P4 with 2 laps to go? Could even get up to where he finished. On paper, started 3rd, finished 3rd. Looks boring as hell. But the race Toby's had might be driver of the day. I'm pretty sure. Like I said, he just didn't go anywhere at the start. Dropped down to, what was it? Like I said, 18th or so. And has been a man on a mission, just like last week. Quali pace is getting there. It's only his 2nd race after all. But his race pace, wow. Oren putting ever further away from Finn now. Grush has done a brilliant job. In fact, he might even get Yannick out of DRS soon. As we head on to the final lap. So this will be a fantastic podium for the McLaren, who's managed to hold on. As yes, Samurai and Eggy are going to have to settle for 6 and 7. As Toby sets his eyes on for 4th. But Yannick is close to Grush. As we head on to the final lap with Oren, who's led for the majority of this race. Finn in P2. Can Grush hang on to P3? Or can Yannick make it a double RB podium? At the moment, he hasn't got the battery. They've all blasted absolutely everything. They're giving it absolutely everything. And Grush is hanging on. Ahead of Yannick, ahead of Toby. No mistakes. Give it everything. See what you can do. Toby, that was so close to the wall. He's really pushing to try and get P4 here on Yannick, who's just trying to hang on. Those mediums look like they're coming to the end of their lifespan. And actually, Ridian's lost a lot of time, so Cookster may hang on for this point. As he's fully dropped off, unfortunately, now from the pack. And it looks like Yannick's struggling. This could still be a last lap chance for Toby to get the RB. Either way, it's still going to be a great overhaul of points for the RB team. As Grush looks like he's just far enough ahead. Oren is making his way through the final sector soon. Ahead of Finn. We have yellows. I think that's just back markers. Toby close to the RB. This is going to be a photo finish probably. As Yannick hasn't got it right. He's clipped the wall. And that allows Toby to get really close to the RB. Blast his battery. And so will Yannick. And Toby spies an opening with much more battery to get P4 on the final lap of the race. Oren is exiting the final corner, and it's going to be 3 out of 3 different winners in Tier 2 Season 12. Oren wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Finn comes home for P2, Grush P3. What a drive from Toby to finish P4. Toby ahead of Yannick, and then Samurai, who was just behind, and then Eggy will complete the top 7, who have thoroughly deserved every single position there. Dello, a very unfortunate race, but he still comes home with some good points in P8. Cal will come home in P9, and Cook's will be P10. What a race. Oren has won. As I think that's just a glitch with Dello. Oren has won the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in tremendous fashion. It's great to see him back up there after the horror of Bahrain to the highs of Saudi Arabia. He loves this track, and we can see why. Finn keeps up his record then of finishing in the top 2 in every race. And yeah, Grush hangs on for a brilliant podium. And yeah, I almost want to interview Toby as well, because that was amazing. Third, pretty much last to 4th. Fantastic stuff. There'll be a few glitches, I'm sure, throughout the field with the DNF glitches. God, it's been a while since I've interviewed Oren. Right, so that was the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Wait for all the stuff to... There we go. There's the result. Quite a long race direct to this one. Easy. Right, Oren, Finn, Grush. Try and get them in. Don't know about Oren though. Might have to go in a Discord call for him. Hope you all enjoyed the race. There we go. There's Finn. There's Grush. I'll quickly message Oren. Right, we have the top 2 joining at the moment. Just seeing what Oren wants to join on, whether it's Xbox or Discord. Discord easier, can't get Xbox working. Okay. Alright. Showroom. I think we have P2 and P3 in the party now. Yes, we do. Okay. RB. Right. Finn, are you there, mate? Hello. Have you included your audio?
Yeah, should be alright now.
Grush, are you there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here.
Have you included your audio?
I have.
Fantastic. Right, we'll start off with Finn. Well, first off, congratulations to both of you. Brilliant races and well-deserved podiums. Right, Finn, P2 today, keeping up that 100% record of finishing first or second this season. It was I'd say a solid race from you overall. What are your thoughts about it, qualifying and race, just overall?
Overall, I'd say just lacking like the cutting edge, just hitting the wall a bit too many times. Qualifying, I think I only ended up 7-1 lap. In the race, definitely had alright pace, but not enough to challenge for the win. Definitely not, because just too many times just scraping the walls or going over curbs, running off wide a bit, just lacking at the final edge pretty much the whole race.
Yeah, exactly. So you qualified fifth. I saw on I think your second run you invalidated at turn one, just a bit too much curb on the inside. And then what happened on your final run?
Final run, I think it was that outside curb. I think I ran over that. The infamous
Right.
one, sector one.
Fair enough. So yeah, it was a P5 start. So you were directly like straight in front of you behind Toby off the start. What did you see?
I don't think anyone was expecting the lights to go out as fast as they did, so definitely caught him off guard. I'm surprised he left me the space to be fair on the outside, which is fair enough to him. But yeah, caught me off guard. Luckily, I reacted just a bit faster than him. But yeah.
Yeah, so you were well in the top five or top three, and then fighting away with Grush after Dello spun, unfortunately. And yeah, Grush, I think his whole mission that entire race was just hold position, like he was Gandalf. You will not fast. And then eventually, obviously, because his mediums did fall off, you got him on the straight. The gap to Oren was about 2.5 seconds or something. It looked like it was pretty equal pace. I think you may have been a bit quicker overall. I think you got the gap from 2 point whatever. You gained like 8 tenths across 5 laps or something. So that's like a tenth or two per lap. But yeah, you pitted on the same lap as Oren, came out in a bit of traffic. When you saw Oren came out still in the lead, were the thoughts of maybe winning this starting to fade a bit?
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, I think he was leading at some point on the hards, so I just thought from that point on he's pretty much won it. I can't see him losing from that point. Yeah.
Actually, how many warnings were you on that race? Just out of curiosity.
I was on two. One of them was coming out of the pits because I came out side by side. I think it was with Eggy.
Right, that's
Yeah,
fair.
2 ones.
So yeah, you managed to get past Garush again after the first round of stops, and then from then on, it was a pretty equal race. The gap stayed around 3 seconds between you and or actually, you and Garush were closing in on him slightly, but then it looked like his mediums managed to turn on and it was fine. But still, overall, it's still an advantage in the championship. 14-point lead to Garush goes to 17 now. Again, don't know what changes will be made in the next few weeks, but I'm sure you're pretty happy with the season so far.
Yeah, definitely can't complain with how it started, and hopefully it can carry on.
Fantastic, right? Well done on P2. Moving on to P3, Garush. It's another podium, and it's great to see you back after what was, I think, a Bahrain Grand Prix to forget. After your first pole, to not exactly have the greatest strategy or pace, to be the master of defence for today.
Yeah.
So you qualified fourth, I think. Where did you qualify again?
Yeah, I think it was fourth.
It was fourth, yeah.
Finished up, yeah.
And well, same question. What were your thoughts when you saw the Haas to your I think it was right, just not go?
I don't think anybody expected Blige to go out so quick. I thought it was a glitch, but just pure muscle memory, just released the clutch and where we go on that, and it just stopped literally, which is a bonus for me. Managed to gain a place there, so and maintain
it. So you were running in third. You had the two hard ones in front of you, and then I mean, I think you got the best shot of it. I'm sure Dello just lost it out of the corner of that chicane, right?
Yeah, I think I didn't see the actual spin, but it was faced it wrong way when I come around the corner. Luckily, it come off the racing line, so I think he just
pushed too much. His rears gave up, and unfortunately, he met the barrier. That would have been a really good battle for first and second, I think, and maybe third.
Yeah, so you're up to second, like I said to Finn, by 10 laps. Your mediums must have been screaming, so obviously Finn managed to get you. You pitted. Were you a little... Well, you came out behind Josh Stewart and then you managed to get ahead of him easier than Samurai and Eggy did. And I'm sure being held up behind him is what maybe cost you undercutting Oren. Were you a little disappointed when Oren came out the pit lane ahead of you?
Yeah, I seen the time. I was thinking if I can get him under 17 seconds, I can maybe get in front of him on the cold mediums, put a bit of distance between me and him. But yeah, I did get held up a little tiny bit, and luckily enough, it weren't too bad. I managed to come back out and took behind him. But as soon as he got them mediums warmed up, that were it. He was down the road.
That's fair enough.
I wanted to kind of maybe me and Finn work together to try and catch him, but the lap they took over me, Finn did, when the back markers came out of the pits, and it was ghosted, but I couldn't really see the track or anything, and it cost me a few tenths. Well, it cost me DRS to Finn, so I would just play catch up from that point.
Yeah, I was pointing that out. There were one or two back markers, and it's the worst. As much as a lap car in front of you is annoying anyway, it's the worst feeling to have one right in front of you into turn 4 because you can't see where you're going and there's a wall.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. But then the last 5 or so laps, 5, 6, 7, whatever. As soon as Finn got past you, the defense was brilliant to Yannick. You had 4 cars behind you, all wanting that final spot on the podium, and you did not budge.
No.
It was a fantastic defense. Could you see Toby coming from like 6 seconds behind to be then 6th, then 5th, then into 4th?
Yeah.
One more lap or so, you never know. But
I know,
I'm sure you must be happy.
Yeah, like I said, Yannick, he soon caught up and got in DRS. Again, I thought, shall I work with him to try and, reel Finn back in? But then, like I said, Toby came out of nowhere, and I thought I can't lose 2 positions, and that I've got to, keep this podium. So I just try and make my car as physically wide as possible.
Actually, sure, because he went longer on the mediums that race than the hards. He went very long into the race, pitted, was on the freshest tyre, well, equal tyre life to Yannick, but obviously on the hards to his mediums. And I'm sure you were figuring out the longer you keep Yannick behind, the more your hards will become better than his mediums, so you can control the race a bit more. And it was absolutely perfect. There was one point where Yannick had a little look on the inside, but then he completely botched the exit of the last corner. So yeah, fantastic stuff from you. I didn't really get your thoughts on Bahrain, and it's up to you if you want to mention it. But obviously your first pole last week was brilliant. It was a very close quali. But then the race, what exactly happened? Was it strategy or pace or both? Or?
Strategy. I don't know. Like I said, my pace just dwindled. I don't know if I was being too cautious to try and save tyres to maybe push at the end, but that first lap I was just swarmed by absolutely everybody. Just kept making a few tiny errors here and there, and I absolutely, I don't know what happened, but like you say, it's one of them races that I'd much rather forget.
Exactly. What was it? 1st, 8th, and 3rd. Overall, that's still a brilliant start to the season. 44 points to I think Finn's 61. Right? Yeah, 61. Yeah. That's 18 points. 44, sorry. Yeah, 44 to 61. So, 17 points behind. 2nd in the championship still. This is looking pretty good so far. I'm going to quickly go back to Finn. Finn, what are your thoughts on Qatar next week?
Looking forward to it more than Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair. Garush, same question?
Track limits is a big thing there. I'm surprised Finn didn't get any penalties at all, because there were a couple of occasions when they were behind me and my dirty air just forced him wide on the last turn of that chicane, the first chicane. I'm looking forward to it. It's a strong track for me.
All right, great. I guess final question. I asked Finn this. How many warnings did you get that race?
Just one, and it was first. It was turn three. I was just in the dirty air of Dello or Oran, and it just pushed me wide. I wanted to make sure I maintained again the cleanliness and that, and hoping that he might have got a couple of penalties, but he kept it really clean and that. So yeah, just one for me.
Ah, fair enough. Yeah, as you mentioned, Finn, obviously, um, the issues he had to overcome in Australia. It looks like you've really turned the page on that one, Finn. You're looking great with penalty. Well, no penalties per se. Um, so yeah, well done, Grush on P3. Fantastic, another podium. Well done on Finn. Another
Thank
P2.
you.
I'm going to join Oren in a Discord call. I'll hopefully see you two next week then. Yeah, well done today.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, I've joined the Discord call with Oren. Hopefully, his audio should just be automatically included. Um, right, all right, mate. You have just won the Tier 2 Season 12 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Absolutely fantastic stuff, mate. Congratulations. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that one. Exactly. I'm just looking through the records now because I remember you had a. Oh, it was season 9, not season 8. Yeah, you were on. You've been on pole here before. In season 9, the season you fought for the championship. But you did not win that race. I think it was it Gekkeberg or something. Your race, yeah, something like that. Oh yeah. Mm. So today was a bit of redemption, which is great to see. Because I know how good you are at Saudi. I mean, you've been on the podium in Tier 1 here before. What do you call it? So yeah, you're no stranger to very fine margins in qualifying, and to miss out. What? No, hang on. Wait, hang on. Yeah, Delo got. Yeah, so miss out on pole by 5,000. So I'm sure you must have been maybe a bit annoyed. That's fair. Yeah, I don't know why I said you got pole again. Yeah, it was Delo who got his first pole. Um, well, it doesn't matter about the pole, it matters about the win. So you've had a pole in Saudi a few seasons ago, and now you finally got that win, which must feel great. After the lows of Australia, where you got pole and then made the mistakes, still managed to come back to finish sixth. Overall, it was a bit disappointing, but it was, still points. And then to the really lows of last week, where it looked like you were just unfortunately absolutely nowhere. To get this win, I'm sure it must feel great. Mm. Yeah, you looked a lot more confident and in control today. I must have said maybe 5 or 6 times, like, right, Oren's winning. It's all just down to him now if he makes any mistakes or whatnot. And I don't think you put a single foot wrong today. How many warnings did you get in that race? Mm. All right. Fair enough. I was actually going to bring that up. So the early stages when you were fighting Dello was a great fight. And obviously it got to one point where you look behind you and you hear Dello. Well, you might have seen Dello spin, unfortunately. But the main talking point was when it looked like it was just going to be, a swap every lap. But the first swap, I think, was it you got ahead of him, and then Dello last second decided to send it up the inside. And like you said, he was ahead, and there wasn't really much room for you, so you decided to bail out, cut the corner, and give the position back. I was saying after, like, I'm pretty sure you didn't do anything wrong there. If anything, it was probably on Dello, but yeah, so nothing to worry about there. But yeah, I'm sure in that moment you must have been thinking, oh, so that's how the race is going to be. Mm, yeah. And then as soon as Dello spun, yeah, exactly. As soon as Dello spun, was there the thought that I'm winning this? Exactly. Um, was there a bit of nerves that you thought maybe I'm going to get undercut? And then when you came out of the pit lane and saw you were still in the lead, I'm sure that must have been the best feeling. Mm. As much as Josh Hewitt may not have been your favourite person back in CSU Season 9, I think you need to buy him a drink today because, yeah, he was certainly the reason that allowed Grush to stay behind you when you came out of the pit lane. He didn't do anything like over the top. He was just a roadblock, really, which is all you can really call a car who's not on your strategy, I guess. So yeah, you came at the pit lane ahead, never looked back. Um, I'm not gonna lie, on the last lap when I saw the gap was 2.9, I thought came in my head. I was like, if Oren gets a 3 second time penalty now, I'm gonna lose it. And now you just said you got your second warning on the last lap. But yeah, three different winners out of three races. It's great to see you back on the top. That is win number 10 in your Tier 2 career, just one off the all-time record now, which does belong to Josh Hewitt. So that is quite amazing, actually. You're only the second person ever to get double-digit victories in EXFL Tier 2. So yeah, fantastic stuff. Your season starts now, I guess, after the unfortunates of the first two. It's great to see. And, well, hopefully, I mean, we might make some changes, but hopefully things can still maybe carry on. Because I think what we saw today was a decent picture of how things turned out. But we'll see. Anyway, next week, Qatar. How are you feeling about that one? You won it when Seb became champion. Yeah. Uh, yeah, exactly. What do you call it? When you were talking about tire wear, I think there's no other track that puts you to the test with tire wear than Qatar. So that's certainly going to be the one to test you out. Mm. Yeah, I pointed that out. He gained 8 tenths on you across 5 laps, so yeah, that is a tenth or two per lap. You did a 31.4, I think, or 31.2. His was a 30.9, and Dello, even though yeah, okay, he did a two-stop, so he was on mediums. Like he did a 30.4. So he did a 30.6, then did a 30.4 the lap after. So Della was clearly really quick today. It's just unfortunate. He did a U practically. He just pushed a bit too much and paid the price. But he's obviously coming into his own. He'll get that first win eventually, I'm sure. Probably this season. And yeah, first pole doesn't always convert to the greatest things in Tier 2. Grush last week, P8. Dello today, P8. So same thing actually. And well, you know about that. First pole here a few seasons ago, it didn't exactly go well. But who knows? We'll see. But yeah, at the moment, yeah, win number 10. That must feel pretty good. Yeah, exactly. Right, so that has been the EXFL Tier 2 Season 12 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix Round 3. 3 different winners from the first 3 races. Will it be a 4th in Qatar? We will find out in 1 week's time. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time for Round 4.